When you look back at our ancient past, it is just filled with mysteries, isn't it? We've got sacred texts describing gods descending from the sky and these massive structures that you can only really see from the air. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most provocative questions of all. What if our ancestors weren't alone?
So, this is the big idea behind what some people call the ancient astronaut or paleo-contact theory. You've probably heard of it. The theory suggests that intelligent extraterrestrial beings visited Earth a long, long time ago, and that this contact actually shaped our cultures, our technologies, maybe even our religions. Now, that is a massive claim, so let's take a look at the evidence its proponents point to.
All right, so where do we start? First up, we're going to look at some ancient texts. People who believe in this theory point to these incredible descriptions of powerful beings and, well, impossible machines. They argue that this stuff sounds less like mythology and a lot more like misunderstood technology. Our first stop is a text many of you probably know, the Book of Genesis. Believers in the ancient astronaut theory say that if you read certain parts not as a religious metaphor, but as a literal historical account, a very different story starts to take shape. And this verse, right here, is a huge piece of the puzzle for proponents. You have the sons of God and the daughters of humans having children together, and their kids, they're called the Nephilim, which is often translated as giants. So what in the world were they? And this is where things get really interesting, because you have two groups looking at the exact same words and coming to wildly different conclusions. Mainstream theology and scholars often say the sons of God were maybe fallen angels or just a different human lineage. But ancient astronaut proponents ask a different question. What if the sons of God were beings from the heavens, literally? In their view, the Nephilim were actually half human, half extraterrestrial hybrids. And you know, this idea of heavenly beings coming down to Earth, it's not just in one place. Let's jump over to ancient Mesopotamia, home of the Sumerians. Their ancient cuneiform tablets tell these amazing stories of powerful gods called the Anunnaki, who, they said, came to Earth from the heavens.
Okay, so this interpretation, which was made super famous by the author Zecharia Sitchin, paints this incredibly detailed picture. He argued that the Anunnaki were aliens from a planet he called Nibiru. And get this, they supposedly needed gold for their own planet's atmosphere, but the work was too hard. So what did they do? They genetically engineered Homo sapiens, us, to be a slave race to work the mines. So you see the split, right? It all comes down to interpretation. While Sitchin saw a story of alien miners and genetic engineering, mainstream scholars see something else entirely. In the academic world, the Anunnaki are understood as a group of powerful gods in the Mesopotamian belief system. They were the ones who decreed the